There are still quite a few rather questionable characters in and around the league that don't wear a uniform on Sundays.
Kroenke made the wrong decision. He should have stuck around. That's my personal opinion. This is a great sports city.
Being a part of an NFL team doesn't necessarily mean playing on the field. How about we take a look at 10 of the biggest dirtbags that are in the NFL front offices, on coaching staffs, and in other key roles in organizations. Woody Johnson, owner, New York Jets. Woody Johnson has been embroiled in numerous controversies and caught many allegations over the years, beyond just being one of the worst owners in the NFL, perhaps even all of professional sports. I mean, for starters, he in many ways set the Patriots dynasty in motion and doomed his own franchise when he bought the Jets. The sale officially went through in January of 2000, just 2 weeks after Bill Belichick famously left the organization, citing various uncertainties surrounding his position as it relates to new ownership. But like I said, with Johnson, the issues run way deeper than what actually took place on the football field, which is scary to think about considering what a powerful person he's become politically. After all, Johnson did serve as the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom under Donald Trump during his presidency. And during that time, well, things didn't exactly go smoothly. The State Department was literally forced to investigate Johnson after multiple staffers accused him of making inappropriate comments about issues concerning race, personal appearance, and Black History Month. This really shouldn't be too surprising though, considering that he hails from one of a rather troubled family, which some people believe to be cursed because of the unscrupulous methods that his great-grandfather Robert Wood Johnson I used to build the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical fortune. Johnson is just one of those people that you never hear anyone have something good to say about. Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers. Look, everyone loves a good redemption story, I get it, but it's hard to read the stories that have come out about now Carolina Panthers head coach Dave Canales and not think that he is a bad guy. So for those of you who did not catch the media firestorm that came out after he wrote his book, The Marriage, the question that changed everything, Canales admitted to a series of infidelities and poor treatment of his wife, Lizzie. From the start of our relationship, I was binge drinking and going out with friends without Lizzie, Canales wrote. Before I was ever unfaithful to her, I was already there in my mind. Bad habits combined with addiction made it hard for me to resist temptation. It was a pattern I knew well before we started dating. Canales continued to explain that through their Christian faith, he was able to overcome his demons and the couple was able to get back on track. But I don't know, something just doesn't quite sit right here. Don't get me wrong, I get the whole evangelical mission type of thing, and you can make an argument that he is trying to help other people stay or get back on the straight and narrow, but he ultimately ended up humiliating his wife in the process by making all of this information public. Like, seriously, you could have just kept this behind closed doors. I don't know. Kinda seems like a different version of the same narcissistic behavior that got him in hot water to begin with, if you ask me. David Tepper, owner, Carolina Panthers. David Tepper, the notorious billionaire owner of the Carolina Panthers, has faced significant backlash in recent years for his management style and business practices. Frankly, well, just for being a pretty terrible person. Tepper, who made his fortune in hedge funds, has been accused of creating, fostering, and basically relishing in a toxic work environment. And anytime one of his questionable decisions hurts his team, his employees, or his players, he is the first one to point a finger and blame someone else. Additionally, his involvement in a failed real estate deal for the Panthers' new headquarters led to lawsuits and financial losses, thus further tarnishing his already tepid reputation. One of the most controversial incidents involving Tepper occurred during the Panthers' tumultuous 2021 season when the owner got caught on camera dumping a drink on a fan who was heckling him. And no shocker there, but the incident went insanely viral. He feels like one of those guys that for the next decade or so, every few months we are going to hear something about some other despicable thing that he has done in his past or in the present. Al Michaels, broadcaster. Al Michaels is undeniably on the short list for being one of the greatest sports commentators to ever do it, and he's gained an increasing fame over the last couple of decades for the role that he has played announcing NFL games. Now, with that said, he isn't exactly the kind of guy that you'd want to sit down and grab a beer with. He somehow still has a reputation for being a consummate professional, but more often than not, he ends up making remarks that are way too off color or out of touch. Say, for example, like the time he said that the Giants were coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
The Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein. All you have to do is read the papers.
You know, The Harvey Weinstein, the notorious sexual predator. Oh yeah, just some lighthearted jocularity on Monday Night Football now. Well, beyond his poor judgment of when and how to open his mouth, Al has become a surly unpleasant jerk in his old age. And as a result, he is becoming increasingly less popular with younger fans. Jerry Jones, owner, Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is one of the most recognizable figures in the NFL. There is no doubt about that. And he has certainly contributed a lot to the growth of the league. But between his behavior off the field, whether it be scandals or just his general demeanor as a human being, and his controversial decisions as the owner of the Cowboys, that tends to overshadow the role that he's actually played in growing the league. For starters, there is his larger-than-life persona. Many believe, and it's hard to argue otherwise, that he seeks the spotlight a bit too often and is more interested in making himself the face of the franchise rather than allowing the players and coaches to take center stage. Fans and critics alike have also begrudged Jones' willingness to overlook the transgressions of troubled players who have the right level of on-field talent. Granted, all NFL teams do this to some extent, but it just seems that the Cowboys tend to take it to a whole nother level. Say, for example, the signing of Greg Hardy. I mean, come on, how is that not going to reflect poorly on his moral compass? I guess we shouldn't be too surprised at the oil mogul, who as recently as 2022 paid upwards of $3 million to a woman and her mother as a part of a paternity suit. Oh yeah, just a stand-up guy through and through. He also ran afoul of certain segments of Cowboys fans who resent his unceremonious firings of longtime Cowboys personnel who were fan favorites. Guys like head coach Tom Landry and general manager Tex Schramm. Honestly, there are few more reviled figures in all of sports than Jerry Jones. Roger Goodell, commissioner. While some may view Roger Goodell as a mere lightning rod for general animosity of fans and media members that should be directed at the owners, it's kind of hard to deny that with the level of controversy that has arisen during his tenure, that he isn't a part of the problem. Granted, he has overseen a tremendous period of growth for the league in terms of revenue and global reach. But there is a reason that many of his decisions have drawn significant criticism from fans, players, and even the owners alike. To begin with, the man is just a massive hypocrite, and he really only cares about public perception. A classic example of this would be his controversial handling of the Ray Rice domestic violence case, where Goodell initially gave Rice a 2-game suspension, only to increase it to an indefinite suspension after public outcry and the release of a disturbing video. At the end of the day, Roger Goodell cares about 2 things, and neither of them are player safety, the fans, or heck, even football. He cares about making money and inflating his own ego. That's it. Sean Payton, head coach, Denver Broncos. Sean Payton, currently the head coach of the Denver Broncos, is a highly respected figure in the NFL for his offensive acumen and leadership. After all, he did lead one of the most potent offenses of its time down in New Orleans. However, his career has not been without controversy, most notably the very infamous Bountygate scandal during his tenure in the Big Easy. He and his staff offered players bonuses for injuring opposing players and knocking them out of games. That's some pretty dang nasty stuff. The way that Payton treats his players has also been highly scrutinized. While some of his former players praise his strategic mind and ability to get the best out of his team, there have been a ton of reports of tension and discontent within his locker rooms because, well, he can be just such a jerk to work with. Stan Kroenke, owner, Los Angeles Rams. In a league that is filled with billionaire owners that are at times disliked by the fans of their own teams, Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Los Angeles Rams, is a bit of a special case. The real estate mogul has had a tumultuous tenure in the NFL, albeit a pretty successful one, but one that has been marked by significant controversy and heavy criticism. Kroenke, who owns multiple sports franchises, has often been accused of prioritizing profit over the welfare of fans and communities, like when he ripped the Rams out of St. Louis in 2016 and moved them west to reclaim Los Angeles as their home city. Never mind the fact that he tried to back out of covering the bill for the tens of millions of dollars in legal expenses that resulted from that departure. The case against Kroenke and the Rams, filed by St. Louis Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority, raged on for 4 years, as a key stakeholder in the city alleged that the league broke its own relocation guidelines, misled the public on its plans to leave the city, and cost the city millions in revenue. All 32 teams were subsequently roped in, and it cost them millions in legal fees, which Kroenke had promised to cover in exchange for their support, until, of course, he got what he needed out of them and just betrayed them all. Oh yeah, just a complete dirtbag. Lace Taylor, former scout, Tennessee Titans. Thankfully, Blaze Taylor, a former scout for the Tennessee Titans, is no longer employed by an NFL organization. But his transgressions were so stunningly horrific that he needs to be mentioned on this list. Taylor shocked the NFL community when he was arrested on suspicion of murder in June of 2023, as he allegedly poisoned his pregnant girlfriend, killing her and the unborn child that she was carrying. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't think it really gets much worse than that. Chris Forrester, run game coordinator, San Francisco 49ers. Chris Forrester, who is currently employed as the run game coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, is a seasoned NFL coach whose career took a dramatic turn in 2017. Forrester's downfall began when a video surfaced of him snorting a white powdery substance believed by many to be cocaine. This event taking place shortly before a team meeting, and ultimately led to his resignation and subsequent public admission of substance abuse issues. Now, of course, we don't want to villainize addiction if that was the case here. And you know, Forrester has done a pretty good job of repairing his reputation and getting back into the league. But I don't think that really changes the fact that he partook in some pretty dirty behavior during his time in the NFL. But hey, which non-player individual do you think is the biggest dirtbag in the league today? Who do you think we nailed it with? Who do you think we were off the mark with? Was there anyone you may have included on this list? Let us know in the comment section below. But if you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.